I can't wait to take a load off at the inn.
No, I understand. If you change your mind, I'll be here.
Oh, Shunir, I told you not to deal with Margis Darius. This is all your fault. Oh, criminal activity always carries a certain amount of danger. But your questions have brought this Wamesupo down upon our heads. Poor Shundir. He didn't deserve this fate. This one has no proof, but I'm sure Marga sent one of his blackguard thugs to silence poor Shundir. I feel it in my tail. Gretha slipped away at the first sign of trouble, and I hid in a crate. Shundir, he wasn't so lucky. Antiquities, you say? Let me have a look. This one is not the expert that the Shundir is. Was. But this tablet tells the secret of an Argonian nightmare idol. Very rare. Probably dangerous. Why did you make me touch these things? Take them back! No, I will say nothing else. This one prefers to keep her blood inside her body. But these items point to other relics. Relics Margus needs to reach his ultimate goal. Whatever that is. The blackguard murderer. Maybe he left a clue you could follow.
What do you want?
Over here, friend of Concordia! There you are. Was the smuggler able to tell you anything about those antiquities you found? Concordia certainly seems to think they might be important. I'm still learning to understand dry skin emotions, but I'm pretty sure she's concerned. Concordia mentions something about the Zalto tablet, an old legend. Reminds me of a story my egg mother used to tell me about a cursed skull. That's a worry for later. Concordia sent me to help you right before she departed. Concordia has a camp in Shadowfen outside Stormhold. She went to check on things and do a little more research on the items you recovered. As for us, we need to figure out how to find Margus fast. Chitmaska, that's in Shadowfen, and that's a fact. We should hurry if we want to stop Margus and the blackguards. I can arrange transportation for us. Just tell me when you're ready to go. The ruins are up ahead. I'll wait here and make sure the boat stays safe. There are all kinds of horrible creatures in the swamp, and some of them eat boats. That's a fact. Well, Zalto means sacred secret. Each tablet contains its own mystery. I think this one is related to the legend of Bila Kar. He was an ancient Argonian sorcerer, terrorized most of Black Marsh, or so the story goes. Not the sorcerer, but the relic he left behind. The legend claims that Bila Kar used his considerable arcane energy to imbue his skull with a powerful curse when he died. The process turned the skull into solid gold. That seems unlikely. The story I heard claims that the skull was hidden on an island off the coast of Black Marsh. Margus probably has the blackguards looking for more clues that point to the skull's exact location. Be careful in there, my friend.
This looks ripe for adventure. Maybe a tad overripe. fighting! trouble brewing here. Stay alert. Let's not get separated. I'd rather not be alone.
Finally! You don't know how worried I was for you and Gilar. After I heard about the murder in the Outlaws' Refuge, all I could imagine was you and my agent lying in a ditch somewhere. I don't suppose you learned more about Margus's plans. That corresponds with what I was able to determine, and I'm sure it's somehow related to the legends of Bilakar. But what happened to you and Gilar after you left the Outlaws' Refuge? Were you able to track down Margus? What an excellent specimen. But see this opening on the back of the statue? A cavity. But whatever was stored inside it is missing. It looks like Margus Darius continues to remain one step ahead of us. Curse his arrogant eyes. Only one conclusion makes sense. Margus seeks the golden skull of Bilakar. Whatever was inside the idol could lead him right to it. A worry for later. Right now, know that Cyrodilic Collections appreciates your help. Take this with our thanks. All right, time to get back to work. We need to figure out how to keep Margus Darius from finding the golden skull of Bilakar before we do. The survival of Cyrodilic Collections depends upon it, not to mention Murkmire, maybe all of Blackmarsh. Depends on the source, but all the legends indicate that the skull contains powerful magic, not to mention a curse that could destroy Murkmire. I shudder at the very notion of someone like Margus or the Blackguards getting their hands on it. We need to follow the trail. Whatever Margus found inside the idol, he's going to need Argonian experts to help him decipher it. Talk to Gilar. He knows a few local Argonians with knowledge of Murkmire. That's who Margus will seek out as well. Gilar's down by the water working on his boat. He should be able to point you to the Argonians most likely to possess the knowledge that Margus needs. Get to them and find out what Margus questioned them about. As much as Margus desires Argonian antiquities, he doesn't really know that much about them. He's going to need help making sense of whatever he found inside the idol. For that, he'll turn to the most knowledgeable Argonians he can find.
The cursed skull scares the wind out of my sails, and that's a fact. Does Concordia have more work for us to do? Why didn't I think of that? The Blackguards are sure to harass anyone they think can help them decipher the clues that lead to the cursed skull. I can think of 5 or 6 knowledgeable Argonians right here in Shadowfen. Here, you check on the Argonians on this list, and I'll go check on a few others. Meet me back here after you're done, and we can compare notes. Just be careful. If the Blackguards found them, there's a good chance they're keeping an eye on them.
Please, I've told you everything I know about the woodcut you showed me. You can let me go now, right? I did what you asked. You're not Oh no. If they see you talking to me, you'll have to leave now. I want nothing more to do with Margisterius or the skull of Bilica. All the more reason for me to run as far from this place as I possibly can. I know how powerful cursed Argonian relics can be. If only I had enough gold for the voyage. My poor feet can only carry me so far, you know. They showed me a woodcut that contained ancient Argonian symbols. I could read some of them. They described a ritual to turn meditation cylinders into keys. A contribution to my travel fund might help me remember more. I appreciate the compensation. Now listen. 2 things. The meditation cylinders are hidden on an island called Norxel, but I have no idea where that is. Second, the blackguards are preparing a ship on the river near Deep Graves to go find them.
You're the hero of Ash Mountain, the slayer of
Dominion will
Borat.
destroy us all.
If you're another one of those blackguards, and that's the way to pronounce it, not blackguards like that thug insisted it was, then my answer is the same. I've deciphered as much of the woodcut as I can. Now, leave me alone. That's rather courageous of you. Few willingly oppose the blackguards. Well, you'll need to hurry. I already interpreted the portion of the woodcut that refers to the ritual. Their leader, Margus, knows how to recover the cursed skull. By performing the ritual exactly as the woodcut described it. I warned him it was dangerous. One misstep and the spell will consume him. Of course, he needs ritual objects to focus the spell. I couldn't decipher that section of the woodcut, though. Look, I have a family. If the blackguards even suspect that I told you this much, they'll make them disappear. No, I have nothing else to say on this matter. Fair point. I heard the blackguards talking. They mentioned they're preparing an expedition to retrieve the ritual objects. Said their ship was moored near Deep Graves along the river. If they find them and unleash the curse, Murkmire is doomed.
You're not here to complain, are you?
Let's ride!
Yes, I'm still here. Where can I go? Well, with your thugs watching me like horned owls regarding a branch full of tree slugs. So, what Argonian antiquity do you want me to examine this time? Not a blackguard? Then why should I tell you anything? Unless you're one of those thorns on their sides that the leader complained about. Are you one of them? Are you a thorn in the blackguard's side? Then I'll tell you what I told their leader. The woodcut they found inside the nightmare idol describes a ritual. But all I could decipher was the sacred location where it must be performed. Norgzel. In ancient Argonian it means forbidden place. This is just a guess, but I think the ritual unlocks the hiding place of the golden skull of Bilakar. And once Margus gains the cursed skull, he can summon forth the power of the mad sorcerer. Power enough, the legends say, to destroy Murkmire.
Some people don't like the bustle of cities, but I come from a big family, so it reminds me of home.
Life here is so very different from the way things work in Murkmire. I never realized how many Argonians have such a terrible existence. And now the blackguards are just making things worse. Were you able to talk to the Argonians I suggested? The Argonians I talked to said the same thing. Apparently, the woodcut describes some sort of ritual that will allow Margus to either find or retrieve the cursed skull. What did the Argonians you talked to have to say on the subject? That's interesting. Very interesting. Those words mean the forbidden place in the language of Murkmire. I also learned that the blackguards are preparing to launch an expedition to find this island so Margus can perform the ritual. We need to find that ship. One of the Argonians told me that only 3 blackguards know the location, but as a precaution, they each carry 1/3 of a map. They must work together to reach the ship. You find 2 of them, and I'll get the 3rd.